I I don't even know how. So once Brooke starts talking, I will try to look up the stat on that. But welcome, guys. It is our August 1st growth call, and we're excited. It's a new month. And conference is right around the corner. Next week, we'll be packing our bags and seeing many of you guys in the coming days. And I'm really excited for that. Hi, Cindy. Hello. Stephanie, Tracy, Jamie. I love it. Susie, hi. So today our topic of discussion is honestly around the importance of remembering why most, I would assume a lot of us, myself included, Brooke, Jamie, I'm sure a lot of you guys, why we started as far as in, did anyone feel a desire? Raise your hand of when you started with Norwex, like you needed to fill a gap. Does anyone else know that feeling of needing to fill a gap? You just like the month ends before the money ends before the month does. And you just need a little bit more. And so we wanted to talk about and remind ourselves of the beauty of that. And so we are going to ask for a little bit of participation from you guys. Let's do that first, Brooke. Is that okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I would love to know, shout outs and numbers, unmute yourself. I want to hear this. When you started looking at the Norwex opportunity, was there a number in mind that you were like, if Norwex could provide X amount a month, 200, 400, 500, 8, whatever that is, a month, like that's my goal. Like for me, I can just start, and Brooke was suggested that we kind of tell a story. Should we do the story first or throw out some numbers first? Numbers first.
Yeah.
I was probably wanting $500 a month. Like if I could get 500 extra dollars a month, like that was golden to me. What net? Throw out some numbers. Bro, I'm gonna start calling on you if you don't start yelling out numbers.
I'm like you actually. Oh,
500.
Oh, I was gonna say the same thing. Yes.
Good. That was Tracy. Okay, 500 for Stephanie and Tracy. Perfect. Jamie, how about you? Marcia, you were
I didn't join to earn any money, so it was not when I joined.
But once you decided to look at it as more of a business,
yes.
How about that?
I wanted to replace my full-time income, so I was more in the like $1,500, $2,000 range.
Awesome. Marcia, you got to put a number on that wine. Give me a number.
She likes the good shit.
It's so ridiculous. Do I get a number? Hi.
I just started just really for something to do after retirement. So I really didn't have a number in my head too, but like 500, is good for me.
Okay. And then Cindy, how about you?
1,000 or so.
Okay. Awesome. Cheryl, I see you there.
Hey, sorry. I didn't have a number. I was just like, I was looking for the entertainment, like interaction with other people. Sorry, does that sound really bad? I'm sorry. It sounds really bad.
Dollar sign on that. Like, come on now. Fair enough. I like it. Well, here you go. Hi. God for the entertainment and the interaction. So thank you guys for just kind of appeasing us on that. For me personally, just a little bit of a backstory. Like I was working full time. I had a part-time serving job, and I just wanted to replace my part-time serving job. Anyone that's been in the service industry knows that could be, $20 one night to 300 one double shift. Like you never really know. But like I said, I started with Norwex not wanting a full-time income, not wanting, 5,000, 10,000, however many $1,000 a month. I just wanted $500. And how about you, Brooke?
So I was probably more in like the 300-ish range. For me, it was more of a, I really wanted to go on a vacation. Like that was what I wanted to do. So I was stay-at-home mom, and I had like another part-time job, and it was like, this will just be like another little part-time job that I can just put the money, stash it away like it doesn't exist. And I just wanted to go on a vacation with my husband because I hadn't been on one like ever. So, and I knew this was the only way that I was going to do it. So I think in my brain, that was like $300 to $500 a month would put enough money away for a nice little getaway.
Yeah. Awesome. So I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm going to botch the exact statistic, but I remember seeing the number somewhere. So we're just going to go with it. The average household, is about, I want to say, I'm going to give a little bit bigger range, $300 to $500 away from making ends meet. I want to say it's something like 400 and some odd dollars. Like that $300 to $500 difference can be the difference between having everything covered and maybe a tiny bit left over, or having to put things on credit cards because they just can't cover all of it. And that's the beauty of what we have to offer. Our circle, the circle that we meet at parties, the people that are in our social media influences, all those sorts of things. Like that's the beautiful thing that we have to offer, because let's face it, like, I was going to say Tracy, but Tracy does have that goal. There are a lot of people that really love their job and have zero plans to take it full time. Okay. They have zero plans. They just want to make a little bit extra money, get the entertainment like Cheryl does, get the interaction, things like that. And Norwex can do exactly that. So
Can I add to that too? Is like also remembering like maybe your goals are to replace your income, but 95% of people that we come in contact with, they're looking for the gap filler. So while like I think it is really important as we're like talking about like maybe growing a team or leadership, like that we do cast a vision on what the income can mean for your family if you pursue leadership at a higher level, but remembering that the majority are those $500 gap fillers. And that's like the footing that we need to be like holding on, even if our reasoning is different, because that's who we're going to reach, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, if I were to go on social medias and all my parties talking about how like, about my story and how like you can go full time, you can do this full time, like there's a lot of people be like, yeah, no, thank you. Like, that's not what I want to do. That's not at all what I have zero desire. I don't want to work that hard. I don't want to leave my teaching career, whatever it is. I got a good pension on the line, like all those reasons. Like, so really appealing to the people that may or may not be like you, but then also, again, just want to fill in that gap. So how does that look, Brooke? Like, what are ways we can talk about in parties,
Right.
in life, in social media? Like, how's that look?
Yeah. So first, I think you need to show how it works for you. So even if you do want to make, even if you are looking for that $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 per month, you can tangibly show your sphere of influence, whether it's a party or online, what $500 looks like, right? So a couple things, posts that I've made about that, because as far as I'm concerned, like I'm looking for like more full-time income with Norwex, right? Because that was my goal all along. But one thing that I noticed over the last year is the cost of groceries increased. And probably about 6 months ago, we were like getting a budget set. We were like really bad about a budget, and we're like, all right, we gotta like shore some things up and stop pretending like we're like the friggin' Kardashians when we go to Costco. Okay. So like, but I was looking at my bills and the cost, how much everything has increased. And I like compared the previous year to what we were paying, and it was like almost exactly $500 more per month that we were spending in groceries and like household items. Like obviously most of that's going to be with Norwex, but like I'm talking like animal, like cat food, dog food, those kinds of things too. It was like almost to the penny. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the gap that people are feeling right now. Nothing has changed. Maybe their income, they're getting standard of living, right? Raises every single year. We're on the high end of a pandemic, so people are still kind of being weird about that. But I'll tell you, a 3% standard of living raise does not cover $6,000 in just grocery increases in 1 year, right? So like, that's what I appealed to. Like, who has gone shopping and noticed the increase? And I just told that story. Like, I have seen an actual increase in groceries of $500. And I was remembered that's the exact amount that can like make a difference just by doing 3 parties a month with Norwex, how you can literally put $500 cash in your pocket. Like, now I'm talking about recruiting. I don't talk about any of that stuff. Just by literally a couple hours a week can get them $500 in their pocket a month at least. So just like appealing to the realness of what's happening. Sometimes I think that like we're kind of afraid to be transparent like that. Like, don't be afraid. Just like look in areas of your life. Like, where have you seen cost increases? Is it gas? Is it, groceries? Is it clothing? Like, everything is increased across the board. But like, have you noticed that cost difference and how Norwex has helped you with that? And those are the things you need to talk about, because that's real life. Like, and that someone can actually feel and see and touch that difference. So you might want to be talking about that on your social media, right? Like putting that out there and not being afraid to. In your parties, like really appealing to that person who's looking for the $300 to $500 difference in their income. You get maximum output with minimal input. Okay, I'm not saying that they don't have to work. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that for the busy mom who works full time and also is a mom Uber at night, driving all over the place, can you ask her, are you able to put 2 to 3 hours a week into a Norwex business? That input of 2 to 3 hours a week can equal $500 a month. And that's way better than, working overtime at your job or picking up extra shift on a Saturday night when you really don't want to, or picking up that like bartending gig that you really don't want to do because your kid has a game, but you really need the extra money, right? So these are the things, and you have control over that schedule. Like, talking about the realness of what's going on and tangibly telling them how Norwex can fill that gap. You're gonna tug on some heartstrings. Now, are you gonna have people like, knocking down the door and like begging to join your team every single party? Probably not. But I'm going to tell you, if you are authentic in your presentation and you talk those real numbers, you're going to get the right people that say yes. And we built this team on people who wanted to make $500 a month. Like, from the very beginning, that's what the whole team was built on that. And we had a massive growth of movement, all based on people who just wanted to do 1 party a week. Like, that's it. And that's what all we did was in-home parties, right? So like, that's all that we really pushed. Like, you didn't have to do more than that to make a solid income. So going back to those basics, reminding yourself why you said yes, and then like just talking about it and like being real and raw, and maybe even saying like, like for me, like I got my daughter's, we bought her freaking uniforms for soccer. Guess how much that cost? For her kit for soccer, it was $550. Like that, and like that's debilitating for a family. Some families can't say yes to that, or they put it on a credit card because they feel bad that they have to do that to say no to their daughter who loves the sport, right? So like, what if that's it? Like, who hates paying for their kids' sports? Like, 1 party, seriously, like we're traveling twice this fall. I don't want to hear it. It's like, $1,000 in hotel rooms for this fall. It's great. Like, but saying that, like, okay, like you want to offset these ridiculous prices that we're paying per year and your kids soccer and stuff. Like, what if you did 2 parties a month? What would that look like for your kids, like sports bills? Just kind of appealing to the human nature and what's going on. I think that we need to do that more versus just say, look at this special kit that Norwex is offering. The kit doesn't matter. The story does.
Yeah. I mean, facts tell, stories sell,
Yeah.
and just the ability to be real. I don't know about you guys, but how many times in your own life, have you had like a $500 bill come up or a weekend trip come up that you want to take or whatever else? And hopefully what you guys have done or are doing is being like, okay, let's make this a party problem. Let's make this like, what do I have to do in my Norwex business to make that up? Like for me, I had to get a crown. Crowns ain't cheap, not a crown on your head, crown in your 2 fins. And that's not cheap. And I didn't want to take it out of the income that I was currently making. So I had to figure out a way to make $1,100 over the course of like 2 months on top of everything else to like offset that stupid, annoying extra cost. And that's what Norwex can do. And it's a beautiful thing that we're able to offer people.
Yeah.
So
So that's
Anyone
kind
else?
of like, yeah, just a reminder, guys, like as we're moving into like we have a new year ahead of us, and you know, it's been, I would say the last 8 months to 12 months have been like super weird in the industry in general. And like we're going into the season, I think, where people are looking for something. They're looking for, just like I was looking for ways to diversify, other people are as well. And we need to remember that Norwex is an amazing avenue for people to be able to diversify, because they don't have to team build. They don't have to. Like most direct sales company, that's the only way you make money. Like they don't have to team build. They can totally just sell the product. And they can do it via parties. They can do it online. There's lots of avenues for them to make actually solid income to fill that gap. And so remember that as we're going into your parties. And by you being committed to helping people fill that gap, that's going to help fill the gap for you too. That's all it's going to do. And if we're committed to serving and helping versus just counting people in a tree and putting warm bodies in the team, like actually getting to the heart of service and being honest and transparent about what Norwex can offer them, like as far as that goes, I think like what we did in the beginning, we could probably do it again, you know? We totally could. And I truly believe that we're in the next year or so, like we're going to have a little bit of a burst in a good way. And, you know, if we have these kind of tools and tricks and foundations underneath us, that we'll be ready when someone says, hey, I think I want to do this, that you'll be ready and you'll have the answer.
Speaking of that, another thing I want to just emphasize as well is that, like she said, like posting once, oh, here's a kit, like isn't going to do anything. If you're continually selling stories, you know, here's an opportunity maybe in your VIP group every Wednesday to do a why Wednesday, as far as like, this is what Norwex has done for me, or this is why Norwex is filling in the gap for me, and just sharing those stories. You know, at the end of the day, like one post may not get any comments or messages, 2 posts, 7 posts. You know what? Like that 10th time that somebody has seen that, like there'll be maybe maybe the crown comes up or the $500 uniform comes up, and then they're ready. Now it's their time. But you've laid the groundwork and you've spoken openly about it and shared about it for however long in parties and in your VIP community and on your Facebook social media platforms, that when it's their time, like then they'll come to you for it.
Yeah.
So hopefully that was helpful and maybe gave you a couple ideas of what I need to get back to. Why Wednesday sounds a little cliche, but I need to get back to doing that more regularly for sure.
Yeah.
Easy to like forget about it.
In your like VIP group and stuff. Yeah. I try to get one in. I do like either my personal Saturday, like I'll touch on it, or like I have a spotlight Sunday that I usually talk about something, like I'll feature something every month. And like this month I'll probably feature the kit and then just kind of talk about it every single week.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions? We have about 10 or so minutes left. If anyone has any questions specifically about this topic, happy to walk through some stuff with you.
Or any others too.
Or any others, yeah.
Comments? Anything? Who's excited for Florida? Cindy is getting on her first plane ride shortly. It's very exciting. Go you. Jamie's got a big family trip that she's wrapping up in it. Pretty dang awesome. And so many first timers. It's just very exciting. We gonna stare at each other for the next 8 minutes?
I'm not
Yeah.
afraid.
Hey. Okay.
Ashley, you gotta be okay. with this.
Okay, so I have something that's not completely related, but I just finished up like 7-host multi-host party. Hey, sorry, he's really fussy. That's why I almost didn't talk.
Okay.
Daddy's at work tonight. So 3 of the hosts did like nothing, literally 0. But the other 4, like 3 of the 4 hosts that were active did. One of them sold like $1,600. So a part of me is like, it's a lot of work, the online parties. So I'm trying to figure out how to balance, I don't know, just all the comments and like keeping up with all the stuff. How do you guys do it? Like, it's a lot. It almost doesn't feel worth it.
Yeah. So for me personally, like I don't feel like I have to be tied to my phone. So I probably go into my party like maybe 3 times a day, and I will go through the comments because I'm auto posting, right? So I'm not like gonna post like look like I'm active without me being, but maybe morning, midday, and evening, depending on what's going on at the party and what's happening in my life. I get up early, so that's usually I'll spend 20 minutes like I'll go through every single post that's been posted and kind of look at things, see if I missed anything, respond where I need to, tag where I need to, and then I do that again in the middle of the day and then again later at night. So my first step of advice would be to tell you that you don't have to, every time you get a notification, you don't have to respond right away. Like you just like it's okay for you, because I tell my host the same thing. Like yes, comment and stuff, but don't feel like you have to be married to this group. Come by once or twice a day, scroll through, make sure that you're commenting on everything that we post and that you respond to your friends, but you don't have to be like in the group 24/7. It's gonna feel like too much to you. Like, so I perform in the same way.
Okay.
I agree.
How many posts? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Oh, I didn't know. How many posts do you do in like a day on average? Like, I don't know if I have too much in my party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I could condense and like really, I don't know.
Well, everyone does them differently. So I don't know how many, like I do mine probably completely different than Ashley, you know, and they are both successful. So I'm going to say that, like, so you can, whatever feels good to you, where you're getting the information out and your host is involved, because that's no matter what type of party that you throw, host involvement is going to be the way to go. So the way that I do mine is I put all of the education posts, there's like 8 of them. So that would be like a lot of information about Safe Haven 5, blacklight demo, chicken demo, a big post about like bathroom and a big post about kitchen. I put all of that into a guide so that when they come into the group, that's already there. And I lead them to the guide until I do my live party. And then until the live, so that happens on a Saturday or a Sunday. And then the guide's already in there. So all the people that are joining, they can read that as they're at their leisure. And they get like, if they comment, that's great. And then I just do a quick little welcome live, like a RSVP live. And then 2 days later, I do bingo. And there's maybe a couple posts per day until bingo. And that's it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
And then afterwards, like I'm posting about order, join, book a party. Like it's just multiple times. But I mean, everybody's style is different and you have to do it what works for you. Like when the party's too busy for me, I get overwhelmed. That's just my own personal style. So if there's 4 to 5 or 6 posts a day, like I can't hang. Like I leave those groups. So like that's not going to be the style that I also do, because I just don't. So I look for ease and information, and then make sure that my live is a lot of fun, so they want to be there.
Okay. Thank you.
Also,
Ashley-
I'm kind of a newbie to doing Norwex parties. and I am capping my Facebook parties at 4 hosts because I want to serve my hosts well, and I know I can't keep up with more people than that right now.
Yeah. love that.
So
Yep.
I'm just making sure I'm showing up.
Mhm.
Mm.
Finding your happy place. I can't lie. I had 4 in my party at the beginning of July, and I did feel like they were served better. And I was able to keep track of like who isn't posting, being as active, and like cheer them on versus my party this half of July had 8. And like I do feel like some of them may have fallen through the cracks a little bit, but it's neither nor there. So I mean, at the end of the day, like that's the beautiful thing about this business is Brooke and I do things very differently. Marsha differently. Stephanie, you do things like you got to find what works for you. And my advice for years has been to love your party.
Mm-hmm.
Who don't love your party, everyone else won't either. Like they're not gonna, like they're gonna tell that you don't love your party, Stephanie. So like that's my biggest piece of advice is you have to love it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, something that you can feel present and show up to well, that's what's gonna sell. Like it could be literally no posts and just a lot. You know, that's why I want to give a variety, because what works for me might, because that my party, and we put a lot of on the front end, right? It is a lot of work there. I'm not going to sugarcoat them. Like even with mine, even though it's simple in posts, I still sit down and it takes a couple hours for me to like schedule everything and do all the work. So like there is, you just have to be able to like be able to show up well as your best self and bring that version of you to the party, whatever that looks like, and your people are going to respond.
Okay. Thank you.
Susie, did you raise your hand? Oh, okay. For some reason I thought it was like, oh, we're going back to school there. Addison still does that. Like we were in a shower a couple weeks ago and girlfriend's raising her hand to answer a question. Like anything else for you guys? Cheryl, are you coming in person? I can't remember. Yes, no?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. I'll be there
First time, right? No?
for this. Yes,
Right.
I've only done leadership.
Okay. Awesome.
Yep.
So exciting.
Yep.
We're excited. Well, we can't wait to see so many of you guys. Susie, did I see you register for virtual? Awesome. Perfect. Yeah. Anything else to wrap up, Brooke?
I don't think so. As always, if there's something that you like have feelings that you want to talk about, but you don't want to do it in a group, you know, reach out to your jacket leader or one of us. We're happy to chat with you. So, yeah. See you next week, guys. All right. Bye.
Yes.